Sir.
Mr. Chairman, I have another question from Mr. Michael Sanderson.
With your indulgence, I have a question for each of the directors that are being elected or re-elected. I'd like to get them all off my chest in one go, if I could.
That's fine.
That's fine?
Yep, that's absolutely fine.
Okay. Chair, Westpac's own governance rules say directors must be independent and free of any business or other relationship that could materially interfere with or could reasonably be perceived to interfere with their independent judgment. Mr. Nash is a former national chairman of KPMG and now chairs Westpac's Audit Committee. KPMG is now Westpac's external auditor for the 2025 financial year. Proxy advisors ISS and CGI Glass Lewis both have recommended voting against his re-election. How can Mr. Nash credibly maintain that he is independent in these circumstances? Will Westpac commit that he either not be re-elected or, at a minimum, step down from the Audit Committee and from any oversight of KPMG audit? Does Mr. Nash represent transformation or more of the same?
Why don't I take that, if you don't mind, and I've got a fairly detailed answer for you. Peter is, without question, independent and absolutely expresses his independence and demonstrates it at every board meeting. He was at KPMG 8 or 9 years, he left KPMG 8 or 8 years ago. At what stage do you say to somebody they are independent? I would suggest to you he's well and truly outside KPMG and well and truly independent. With regard to the appointment of KPMG as the auditor this year, it was after Pricewaterhouse were, I guess, retired from their role after 55 years as the auditor. And we just felt it was prudent to change auditor. In that regard, we put a subcommittee of the board together to run a process to determine which auditor should take over. Peter was not part of that process. He was not on that committee. He was recused from any involvement at all. Not because he wasn't independent, but because I think the optics would suggest that people could take a view on that. Michael Ulmer, who's a very fine director and very experienced executive, was the chair of that committee, which I sat on as well. And KPMG gave a very fine, if you like, presentation, and they deserved it purely on merits for no other reason. Peter is a very fine director, and I have absolutely no hesitation in suggesting he stays on the board and performs his duty. Furthermore, the tenure of Westpac's board is very young. It's only 2.5 to 3 years because of various changes and turnover. Peter's been on the board for now 6 or 7 years, and that buys a lot of corporate knowledge and corporate history. And I think as a firm of this scale and size goes through its transformation, it needs to have people of that ilk on its board. So Peter's a fine individual. He's incredibly well qualified. There aren't many people in this market that are qualified to be a chairman of a bank audit committee, and he is one of them. So I'm very proud he's on the board, and you as shareholders should be very, very grateful that he's serving on the board.
Can you explain why ISS and CGI Glass Lewis
I can absolutely explain why they're saying it. I just happen to disagree with what they're saying. And I've had a discussion with ISS particularly on this, and it was a very unusual conversation where they tend to agree with me. Why they voted, it's not their business.
Okay.